Joining me in the studio is the council leader, Isolo Local Council Development Area in Lagos State, Adeyemi Akim. And also we'll be having a guest via Zoom, public affairs analyst, Mayor Ilo. A very good morning to you.
Thank you
so much for joining us on the program, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
What is your assessment of the protests in the country generally?
Well, thank you very much for having me once again. You've given good intro about me. My name is Adeyemi Ayola Akim. I'm the council leader, Isolo Local Government here in Lagos State. We've all seen the recent development in the protests, national protests that happen in Nigeria. So let's give kudos to the Mr. President himself, who happened to be a core Democrat. So protest is known to the Mr. President, and there is never a time, there was never a time he said there shouldn't be protests in Nigeria. Even when he was a governor of Lagos State, there have been protests within his party, there have been protests within the state, perhaps with the National Union of Local Government Employees, the NOGE. So the president has been used to this. And thank God, when the issue of protests came on board, he has never released either any of his aid that the protest should not be heard. That he was saying, be peaceful in whatever he wants to do. President has not said no one should not hold protests. Same with our celebrate governor in Lagos State. All have said, should any protest be held anywhere in Nigeria, precisely in Lagos State, let it be peaceful. And the memory we had in 2020 NSAS has not left us. We still have that memory in our individual coverage. So we decided, the Lagos State government, we all know that throughout Lagos State, that protest has been peaceful. And it has been peaceful in the reason is not far-fetched. The governor directed all the local government chairmen, all the local government met with all the CDC, CDA within their neighborhood, within their local government. So there have been series of meetings. I could speak for my own local government. The local government chairman, in the person of Mr. Olashuju Adebayo, has been doing wonderfully well. During the period, it's about 2-3 weeks ago, this meeting with the protester, those that we see, those that have been identified. So perhaps at the state level, so they have been met with, and we all knew. So there was a time, maybe about 4 or 5 days prior to the protest day, the governor addressed the public. There was this stakeholder engagement that if you must protest, because we knew that this is within the ambience of constitutional right of every Nigerian to protest. But we want to protest peacefully. And this government, we want to protest. Maybe I won't say we are protesting against the government. We are protesting against the hardship we are experiencing in Nigeria. There is no one that is immune of that. We are all in it together. And the president has been doing wonderfully well. We all know every government, be it president, governor, local government chairman, every one of them, if Nigeria must be peaceful, if Nigeria must be progressing, they all need maximum attention to govern this nation. The president needs this attention and maximum cooperation of Nigeria. The mandate to govern this country for 4 years, first time in office, has been given by the citizens of this country. And if that maximum attention must be given, the president must be given maximum attention to run this country. We know, once you are elected and your election is being litigated in the court of law, that attention has been drawn to another perspective. The president gained the maximum attention to run this country exactly on October, when the Supreme Court validates his presidency.
Mr. Akim, let's quickly put you on a pause. Let's quickly get the reaction of Mr. Mayokun Ilo. What's your reaction or your take on this nationwide protest at the moment? You may have to unmute yourself so that we can hear you loud and clear.
confirm you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. I said it's been a tale of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good in terms of how the protests have largely been managed, at least in most states of the Federation, Lagos inclusive. It is bad because the government has allowed these issues to degenerate to the point where some people think, and most Nigerians, especially the have-nots in society, feel that they need to protest to make their voices heard. It's been ugly because of the needless loss of lives that we've had in some sections of the country, especially across the north. This protest, while I don't support it, I understand the need for it. People are hungry, people are dying. People, even though they have trust in Mr. President, it seems the people around him or people trying to help him reach wherever it is that he wants to reach Nigeria to, they are not doing enough. And the little they are doing, the much they are doing, they are not communicating, and they are not telling us how those things tie together to bring us to desired land. So I understand that protest can be a form of a set button. It can be a form of an occasion, people letting the government know how they feel about what it is that they have been trying to achieve. Over the last 2-3 days, I've been seeing various parties in government coming out to tell us what the government has been doing over the last 1 year, and all was not. While I sympathize and commend the efforts that have been made so far, more really needs to be done. All I hear mostly, at least 70% of the time, is we need time, 70%, we should do this, give the president time. Somebody said in the long run, I think it was John Keynes that said it, that in the long run, we are all dead. The average Nigerian wants to be able to go to the market and earn enough to feed. When you are earning money day after day, you are a family man and you don't have enough to feed, then you begin to think in terms of desperation. Desperate times come for desperate measures. So government needs to sit down and look at short-term, medium-term, and long-term solutions.
Mr. Ilo, we hear you very clearly. You know, but some will say that the demands of these protesters are really not what can be immediately or as fast as they want. But let's quickly put you on hold. I'll be back to you. Let's come back to the studio. So let's talk about, you know, this seemingly need to destroy things to communicate. I mean, it wasn't as bad as this when you look at the 2012 protest, and even, you know, before that, they had a court order. They had an ex parte order saying that, you know, the protesters should be in restricted areas. And if you look at what happened or what transpired during the week, it seemed most of the protesters did not abide by that, you know, by that ruling. Apart from the fact that it was managed in Lagos, if it was not managed, it could have gone, you know, beyond what was planned. So talk to us about what changed and what's your perception of the attitude of these protesters, not just in Lagos, but when you look at what happened in Kano, when you look at what happened in Borno, what happened in Abuja also.
No, thank you very much. I think from the experience we had in 2020 during the EndSARS, and the recent experience we had August 1st date, you will see that there are three phases to it. There are protesters, the genuine, there are rioters, and there are looters. So those that are known to every one of us are the genuine protesters, that they are allowed, according to the Nigeria Constitution, to protest. Do you understand? So me, I will have said, should anyone want to protest, such individual or such group has coverage in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, there should be profiling. I want to protest, good. Then let me present myself, excuse me. Let me present myself to the authority in the land. I'll be protesting on so date. And these are my members, those that will be protesting along with me. So anyone that wants to protest, let be identifiable. Not that somebody will be outside the country, somebody will be anywhere, and such person will be giving directive to Nigerians. This is exactly what we have observed. So should you want to protest, protest and protect. So once you protest, government knows you have surrendered yourself to the government or in the authority. You will see at the end of the day, should anybody now want to carry any sinister agenda that is not known to you, you won't be the person that will carry out that defense. The government will be on ground to do that immediately, because once you have been allowed to carry out that your protest, you are free to do so. Then you will now see, recently, when the protesters were about to do whatever they want to do, I think government of Lagos State and federal government secure injunction that there should be a confinement where all the protesters will be limited to. Was that obeyed? It wasn't. So if the issue of
some of them gave reasons why they don't want that confined area.
I think I saw that of Abuja, that there was only an entry and exit point that should any be stamping. So that of Lagos State, the Freedom Park that the government had given them to, what is it all about protest? You want to communicate your grievances to the government. Why not just be civil about it? Communicate it like in Misolo, local government, my local government. The chairman, the executive member, the councillor, we are all available in the council on the 1st of August. Okay. Expecting perhaps the protesters may want to submit their communique. Then the local government chairman will take it to the governor.
Let me put you on the pause. Let's quickly get the reaction of Mr. Ilo. What's your assessment of security operatives in ensuring the protection of these genuine protesters? Just the past 2 days that we've seen protests in the country.
Well, I think the security operatives have done fantastically well. I understand, like my colleague in the studio said, that there are different intentions when it comes to civil disobedience. There are those who are likely there to vent their anger in a civil manner, and there are those who are more inclined towards violence. So, having said that, I think the police, in places I've seen, mostly have managed the situation extremely well. There are some, and it all boils down to the kind of country we are running. When we have a lot of uneducated folks, when we have people whom the state have abandoned, when issues like this arise, they tend to go for extreme actions, as has been seen in places like Kano and Niger State. But that said, I would say the police have done well. If I also must add, I will let us know that what government should be afraid of is not really all these planned protests, whether the planners are abroad or they are in the country. It is the spontaneous protests that scares me every day. The government has a responsibility to reset. The message now is that there are things we are doing and there are things we are not doing really well.
Mr. Ilo, we have been having, this conversation throughout this week, and many persons are, hoping for a resolution. Of course, this has affected a lot of businesses, and Nigeria especially has lost a lot. So talk to us about the way forward. What should be explored as the alternative to this protest, and what should be done on the side of the government?
Well, I think a place to start is to look at the items of demand as put forward by a few of the protest groups. I'm sure the list is not unified, but whatever it is, if they are talking about cost of living, if they are talking about cost of education, if they are talking about government showing maybe the interest in social safety nets for citizens, these are areas that the government can address. It's not necessary that all these things be addressed today, but if we communicate with the people, Nigerians are reasonable, very reasonable people. They are willing to listen. I think the problem is that even when the government is doing something, they leave it untalked about. And at the end of the day, people feel that the government is not doing anything. There's a lot that has been done in the last 1 year, I must attest to that. But as an economist, I will also tell you that I don't see a lot of coherence in the voices coming from government or the government actions. There has to be a data-driven approach to solving problems in this country. We don't even have the data to talk about. Right. At the end of the day, we are hearing one thing or the other about 600 bags of rice, 6,000 or 6 million bags of rice being distributed. Where is the data that is behind the distribution? All
right, we can continue all and all, but the government is also listening to ensure that necessary measures are put in place. to cushion the effect of some of these demands from these protesters at the moment. Public affairs analyst, Maya Kunilo, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Back in the studio, thank you so much for joining us. Council Leader is Solo Local Council Development Area, Lagos State, Mr. Adeyemi Akim.
Thank you very much.
Time will not permit us to get your reaction on the way forward, but we must say thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.